Hello and welcome to a severely abbreviated edition of Diaspora Weekly. I'm not going to have anybody in the studio, but I went out to meet a legend. And I wanted to introduce you and to what transpired. So basically, Stevie Wonder. And when it comes to legends, they don't come any larger than Stevie Wonder. He came to Ghana. He has come to Ghana multiple times. This time around, on May 13th, I believe, was his birthday. And on that same day, he became a Ghanaian citizen. He was elated, so elated that he called a press conference to tell the world how happy he was and still is about his Ghanaian citizen and how much he values the Ghanaian citizenship.
I, again, as I always do, give all praise to God for life. This is it's a dream that I knew would happen in reality. I didn't know when or how, but no different than I knew that the King holiday in the United States celebrating Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday as a national holiday, a day that we remember the lives of all that have lived and died for the oneness of all people, as did he. And as did many people. As a little boy, at 5 years old, at 6 years old, when I heard about this man who was going around trying to make things better for black people and wanting for the rights for all people to be recognized and respected. Equality. As I remember, as a little child, boy, when I was growing up, I listened to the music of Africa, wondering where was Africa, and having a connect. Hearing the music of Marion Makiba, hearing the music of all the different people, emulating the sound, their voices, saying words that didn't make any sense. Oh, mama, you're not, oh, whatever. But I loved the sound of that. And then me hearing about, at an younger age, I was in my 20s, hearing about sleeping blindness, the tit supply, talking about it probably when I was 23, 24, somewhere, talking about how I'd love to go to Ghana to help, to make a difference of those that had sleeping blindness. Envisioning me being there. And then in the 90s, amazingly coming to Ghana for the first time. And wow, it felt like home. It felt as if I had been there. It felt like I remember the essence of it, like I remember the essence of when I was born. That essence I felt again. It's like I knew the people. And so I just want to let you all know, no different than since the beginning of my life, I knew that Stevie Wonder was a vehicle that God gave me to use my spirit, Stevie Morris, to do things to make the world better. So now that I am too a citizen of this country, my goal is to bring people together. In a time where there's division all over the world, I'm believing that the call is for us all to come together, to give voice to the voiceless.
So we interacted with him, but when it got to my turn, I wanted to shock Stevie. You see, there is this song called Master Blaster, and at the end of it, he rumbles out a set of words that many people don't know what he's talking about. But here's what he says in that song. He says, I bet you if someone had told you yesterday that you'll be jamming, you would not believe it because you never thought that you'd be jamming, right? And it goes like this. I bet you if someone approached you yesterday to tell you that you would be jamming, you would not believe it because you never thought that you'd be jamming, right? So that's a very iconic line. So anyway, I got up to ask him a question. I finished asking him the question, and I wanted to shock him and say, I bet you if someone had told you yesterday that you'd be a Ghanaian, you would not believe it because you never thought that you'd be Ghanaian. But God, for some reason, I got so tongue-tied that I could not utter those words out. So anyway, he went ahead and answered my question, and he actually sang the chorus of The Crown. Fortunately, I got to interact with him backstage, and I was able to utter those words to him, that metaphor. And then he actually, that's what lit his face up. So it was a pleasant experience. Stevie Wonder is as legit as they come. He's now a Ghanaian citizen, and word has it that he's looking by property to come and live over here. And so when he comes here, you can bet that DNT is going to bring a ton of footage. But most importantly, if you remember, Ghana in 2019 called the year of return, and a lot of Africans in the diaspora came in. And since then, it's been an open door, and people are coming in. In fact, December in Ghana is the biggest thing globally. But then the Ghanaian government launched a follow-up to the year of return, and that's the Beyond the Return. That's targeted at investment. And so it was based on that that I asked Stevie Wonder this question.
As you know, now the African American community in the United States is doing very well. There's a lot of affluence going on. And when you look at Beyond the Return, the essence of the Beyond the Return is to go beyond just visiting and having fun and to invest. What do you think it would take for some of that affluence within the African American community to be invested here in Africa? Because as you see, there is a lot of poverty on this continent. What would it take?
I think that obviously everything starts with, like I said, communication, conversation, understanding our purpose, understanding the things that we have in common, discovering the things that we have been lied to know for some thousands of years, to really tune into that and understand that we've always been one. We've always had the spirit. We've always had the desire. We've always had the rhythm. We've always had the sound. We've always had the heart. We've always expressed with our souls. And now it's time for us to let not the distance of the water, the oceans, the seas, divide us and keep us apart. Yeah. We know what we're supposed to do, and we know it all along. It is time for us to free ourselves and go back to the truth we've always known. It will take us to bring it all together. Okay. Let's start communicating.
And let me expand on what he says. You know, in a world, if you're going to do business with somebody, it has to be preceded by dialogue. You have to know the person. You don't just walk up. In fact, if you go to the market, yeah, a stranger can come and buy tomatoes, pieces, no big deal. But if you're looking to do substantive business, the business partners first have to know and understand each other. And I think that's what Stevie was talking about. Beyond the return is great, but Ghanaians, the historical diaspora, those who were taken out, enslaved, and were living their life all over the world, about 300 million of them. Do we understand each other? Quite frankly, I don't think we do. And that is what Stevie might have been talking about. He said we need communication to establish a dialogue for us to understand each other. And so, to be honest with you, when I walked out of there, it got me thinking that we need to step up the communication. We need to step up the dialogue so that we get to understand each other. Because if we're looking to do substantive business, it begins with knowing exactly who we are to each other so that we can do good business. And today, that is the abbreviated edition of Diaspora Weekly. Thanks for watching.